Hello everyone, and welcome to the second day of the first week. Technically, it's not the same week, but let's ignore that. Of the STPL Showmatch series. Today, casting with me, Nina isn't here today, so I have to my right, I guess, Jealous.
Hello everybody, my name is Jealous, also known as Chobo Swaggins, and we are both missing our friend Nina Zerg today, but to my left I have our glorious host, OGN Kicks.
Yeah, cool. I guess the best thing we can do is sort of explain who's going to be playing today, so I'm going to throw up the main screen here, get this correct, if I haven't. But yeah, so it's actually looking at the maps first of all, so I guess we can quickly go through those. The Showmatch series does have a set of 5 maps that every player who signs up has been playing. It will be a best of 5. Set 1 will be on Fortress SE, Set 2 Match Point, Set 3 Judgment Day, Set 4 Neo Aztec, and Set 5 Circuit Breaker. And you'll notice that I don't have a typo, the title this time, so that's much better.
Indeed. So are we going to talk about the maps again, or are we just going to skip over that? Because they're the same maps as last time, I believe.
Yeah, we have different matchups, so we'll talk about them a little bit, but we won't go into them mainly. But the first matchup, you'll see that it shows the teams, because this is my Pro League style part of the system. And it's actually between Pusan Oz's Jaedong and MBC Game Heroes Pusan. ZVP. In comparison to good old last week's TVZ and TVT. So yeah, first Zerg in the tournament, and it's the one and only Tyrant.
Well, technically it's the second Zerg, because we did see Hyuk.
Yeah, good point.
Boxer himself last week, but this is probably the first truly good Zerg that we've seen in the league so far. And I think that we can classify Pusan as being probably the second oldest player in the game after Boxer, so it's definitely another generational match, war between the ages, same way that Boxer vs. Hyuk was.
Yeah, I mean, Pusan, also known as the Spirit Toss as well, quite popular, did really well throughout the years, so it'll be interesting to see if the TL member playing as him will be able to live up to expectations.
I hope so.
We'll pop into the first map, which is going to be Fortress SE. This is quite a, well, it's a map from 2010, and it was featured in this Pro League, specifically the the Shinhan Bank Pro League of 2010 to 2011. So far, we've not had a ZVP on this map, so there are no map stats, but historically, it's a pretty good map for Protoss and Zerg, so it'll be interesting to see both find out on this one.
Actually, based on the 2 versions of the map, Zerg is quite a bit ahead in the head-to-head. In the old version of Fortress, they went 12-6, and in the new version, they went 11-10. So definitely more rounded in the new version. And as always, the sample size is not the best, but I do think that there are things on this map that Zerg can definitely use to their advantage. For example, the easy access to the corner gas bases, probably easier to defend as Zerg than it is for Protoss, as well as the fact that as soon as you exit your natural, you have 2 gas bases right there. Very easy to grab a quick 4 gas on this map, I believe.
Yeah, so I mean, it's possible that 2 players playing in the league here as well may not have played this map too often. It's not very popular on IC Cup, and most people don't go out their way to post anything but Fighting Spirit, so it'll be nice to see how both these players react to the map. Well, old map, but new to them.
Yep, I definitely agree with you.
And then, of course, our first player will be our Hwasingo's Zerg, Jaedong. He's not done too badly so far. Of course, this is actually based on the tournaments are on from 2015 as well. I can't guarantee that the players are or are not the same, so it may be a different player playing Jaedong this time, but the one who played him last time went 3-0, so did pretty damn well.
I'd have to say you have to have some kind of guts to pick yourself as Jaedong. You know, you have to already be somewhat confident in yourself that you won't shame the name of the legendary Zerg when you pick it. So I think that alone tells me that I should expect a strong player here.
Yeah, and then moving on, we do have Pusan with a very blurry picture, which I just gathered like about half an hour ago, and I couldn't find anything better. So he is the blurry toss to me now. He's not actually played yet in STPL or the BOSL or anything, so this is his debut game, including not just the player who's actually playing as him, but also the actual real player who's never shown up before. So there's, at least on TL, there's one fan of Pusan, so that's kind of cool.
Yep, definitely a very old school player. People who have been around for a while remember him as one of the 3 kings of Protoss. So someone who picks this player has definitely been around for quite a while, for a long time, just like Pusan.
Yeah, so I guess this is probably a good time to sort of get into the game.
Let's do it.
Just trying to maybe. Well, okay, we'll stick with this song. I need to like go back and watch some more VODs to get the music better. I've got all the right songs, but I play them in the wrong order in the wrong places. But I'm just one man, and the OGN team will be like at least 30 people strong, probably. So I'd say not too bad. But so there's your 2 players, and let's head into the game. So I just that and actually show the game would help. Nope. Where am I?
No, I'll be straight up. If you stop telling people everything you did wrong, then I don't think anybody would notice half the things.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, okay.
That's
Well,
self-deprecating.
It's part being British. Okay, so let's get going.
Let's do it. All right, at the 3 o'clock position, we have OZJD, aka Jaedong, the purple Zerg.
And over in the 12 o'clock position, we do have the green Protoss. And they said green Zerg for some reason. MBC's Pusan.
Yes. This map, one thing that I did notice is that the eggs are vital to making a wall-in on this map. So I wonder if the fact, not just the fact that people are new at this map, I feel like on most maps, the Zergs against Protoss, they can kind of do their own SimCity with the 2 hatcheries, and that comes after you expand, so you have plenty of time to think about it. Whereas when Protoss need to forge expand, they have to have a preconception of where to place the pylon and how to space everything, and the eggs, I think, add an interesting element to this, so it'd be interesting to see how Pusan handles it. And it's actually, he's going to handle it by placing his pylon in his main, so it seems like we're going to be seeing some 1-base play here.
Yeah, not opting to go for that quite standard forge fast expand. Maybe not feeling too confident about the wall on the map, as you said, so...
Unfortunately for him, Jaedong is going to use his, top rank Star Sense, and is going to scout him first by going directly into his main, and he is going to see the probe exiting as well. So he's going to know that there's no shenanigans going on, that this is actually where this Protoss spawned.
For that, or there's an incredibly early scout, would be crazy.
Yeah, pretty much nonsensical in the PvZ matchup, I think.
Yeah.
So we are seeing a 2-gate from Pusan. So he's definitely be getting aggressive with Zealots. Are we going to see a 12 hatch from JD here? No, actually he's already started.
Yeah, he's already got his pull, so... Yeah, I think he got that on 9 supply, possibly even an overpull. So that would have been 10, I guess. But yeah, JD's going to be quite safe, well, necessarily, against a 2-gate, as long as he's pretty good with his link micro. And if this player playing as JD plays anything like the real Jaedong, then he should be fine.
Yeah, most definitely. I know that some people actually prefer 12 hatch against 2-gate because you get more links earlier and you can start setting up your defense and your natural with the sunken. But I feel that any sort of pull first play is also pretty safe, considering the fact that you will have Zerglings before he even gets a Zealot out. We see that Pusan has 1 Zealot out, and the Zerg already has enough links to take down at least 1 Zealot, so Definitely throws a wrench in the works for our Protoss player.
Yeah, and we do see the first Zealot already out, the second and third one's on the way, so Dan will know that he needs to move across the map at some point, otherwise his 2 gates won't really help him out. He does scout the hatchery as well, which is quite a good find. I think he did see it before, but there's also a lot of lings out on the map preparing for the 2 gate coming to him.
And the probe goes down. Unfortunately, Pusan is not Bisu. He got caught with the last hit of the Zergling. And JD is throwing down his 3rd hatchery now, setting up a pretty decent Sim City over here.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for the Zealots to actually break through that as well. I mean, using the lings as a wall would be quite easier. But he's doing anything he can at the moment to delay the Zealots from actually getting to his base while he gets out that defense.
Yeah, definitely a lot of mind games going here in terms of position. Meanwhile, the Zealots are trying to get a few hits on the Zerglings before they arrive, because they know that there's going to be more when he gets there.
Oh, one of the Zealots actually gets trapped there, takes quite a lot of damage to his self rather than the shield. But there is a really nice position you can get to here where he can actually wall the Zerglings out of the base, but it's not really going to help him because there's a huge surround going down. The Zealots are being taken down one by one. Only 2 Zealots remain and a lot of lings are still alive.
Oh man, and that's a huge blow to our Protoss player. Losing all of your early Zealots like that puts you on the back foot in terms of map control, allows the Zerg to start macroing up, and JD, confident as ever of being on 3 hatcheries, is going to be in a great position to do so.
Yeah, he didn't even need to build any form of bunkers there or anything, so in a very good position. Even macro-wise, a lot of lings still left out on the map. There's only 4 Zealots left. 2 of them actually did retreat from the main battle, while he adds on a forge to get some gateways. Cannons.
Yeah, actually, I guess overall, I wouldn't say that Pusan's position is too bad. He has a greater probe count because the Zerg has been cutting into drones. He's just now starting to macro them back up, but it's not. I don't think Pusan's gonna have a chance to go out on the map anytime soon. Especially considering the fact he can't scout.
Yeah, JD using this to his advantage, actually taking the middle base, which is usually quite dangerous, but the fact he has map control with his lings and Pusan will be locked back in for quite a while is actually going to benefit him quite a lot, and if he does perhaps want to go into maybe some Hydra shenanigans, that's a shorter distance for them to need to reinforce as well. Almost like a Terran attacking with Bio and standing behind it as well.
Or the siege tank push and expand behind it that we see on Fighting Spirit so often. This is another situation that could prevent the Protoss from attacking directly into the Zerg natural, and he would have to either bust through the 3rd base or circumvent it somehow. Generally, I think that this is a pretty good idea in this scenario, considering the lack of map control.
Yeah, and we see Hydra speed coming up as well, so I mean that's fairly normal, I believe, correct?
Usually people get range first, but I guess in this scenario it's somewhat different because usually you get range first so you can start attacking the gateway and the forge that are protecting the wall-in. But since there are no gateway and forge outside the wall-in, you might as well get speed to get to reinforce your army quicker.
Not only that, I also guess it allows you to micro a little bit better against the Zealots.
And the Zealots have scared away the Zerglings temporarily. Now they're going in for another aggressive maneuver. It looks like they're going straight for the... Oh, nope, they're going to backtrack a little bit, try to do some more damage to the Zerglings. They are going towards this 4th and 5th hatch now. It's actually completely undefended.
I mean, the big thing is that hatch is actually on the way to the natural if you just want to right-click over there as well, so they were going to be able to find it. They may actually be able to take this hatchery down, which would be quite a good pick, and it is cancelled, so quite a good pick up there for Pusan.
The Zealots showing some unexpected value in the mid-game here. I think maybe JD did not expect this, but he does come out with a lot of Zerg things promptly. It's a very Zerg thing to do. Brings drones as well, and the surround is strong. The Zealots do get cleaned up.
Yeah, the other 2 Zealots actually try to pull back towards the minerals. Try to get as much value as possible, but unfortunately they don't actually attack. They just sort of stand there and get wailed on, which is a bit unfortunate for Pusan there.
Meanwhile, Pusan sends 4 Zealots around the engagement here, hopefully trying to, I guess, trick the Zerg. The Zerg's going to probably see that there's not enough Zealots out in the natural, though, if he sends his lings in there.
Yeah, the scary thing for Pusan as well is he's actually got so many lings that these two cannons make enough. So the Zealots actually do get into the natural. They could get quite a few drones here. There is no sunken or anything, so very little defense. Gonna try and snipe the Hydra den before it gets range up as well.
Look at that drone drill. That was perfectly executed. Very well, good awareness of the wall. But this also hurts the Zergling somewhat. He has a perfect blockade here, but the drones are gonna come save the position again.
Yeah, so the drone micro there from JD has actually been pretty good. He managed to... I mean, I don't think the Zealots would have been able to kill the Hydra den quick enough before the Zerglings came back, but he did mitigate as much damage as possible. And another train of Zealots is actually coming out the base, heading straight towards this third base again. So, after killing a lot of Zerglings there on the wall, this could actually be good as well. Pusan showing some great awareness. Yeah, there goes another drone drill as well, but it doesn't seem to be enough. There's actually quite a lot of Zealots here that have survived, so... The Hydras could actually clean this up, but they're going to take... He's lost quite a lot of drones during this as well, so somehow that one Zealot surviving with about 5 health for a good 20 seconds of attack, so that was quite good for him. And it looks like back in Pusan's base he's actually going up to Stargate, probably... well, we could have possibly seen some Corsairs, but knowing that there's no layer out, like he's going to go straight into an extra gateway. Zealot leg speed is coming up along one attack. Meanwhile, JD's getting triple evolution chamber, possibly going something along the lines of Sauron Zerg for the late game, and we do see the Atreus as well to macro off of.
It definitely seems that way, and that might be a very strong move for him, considering that Pusan has been very late to get Templar in this scenario. He's been forced to throw down 4 cannons additional to his existing 2 in order to defend against this Hydralisk threat.
Yeah, and he's also he's not really able to produce out of all of his gateways concurrently at the moment. He is now adding 3 High Templar on and a Dark Templar, so that'll help him quite a bit. Especially considering Jaedong doesn't actually have any overlords up near the front, so this could actually be quite bad for him if he doesn't react quick enough.
And another thing is that JD used this, despite losing drones, despite losing mining time, it seems like he's moving ahead into a very strong economy. He's getting the 6th hatchery. It's that kind of that effort style of Zerg that we've been seeing recently, where they get 6 hatcheries, no static defense. The Corsair from Pusan does scout the main of Zerg, sees that it's triple evolution chamber, no sign of Hive or any other tech yet. So I personally don't know what a Protoss can do in this scenario. What is the best option? I think Zealot High Templar is pretty good. Investing into more Corsair, probably not the best choice, but Zerg is just going to have such an overwhelming army for such a long time, I feel.
Yeah, one thing that would be quite useful here for Pusan to do is, I know he's quite far off of it, but getting a shuttle or even trying to get a probe around there and take that side base. He knows there's no lair, and given enough Corsairs, Zerg can't really drop up there. It actually be quite a strong move to take that base. It's going to be difficult though. He's going to try and break out using his Zealots and High Templar. It doesn't look like he's got Storm yet. Storm does actually go down on a huge clump of Hydralisks, and the Zealots do charge on forward.
A couple of decent storms here, but he did wait a little bit too long. I fear. I think that it was because he was very low on energy. Actually, now that I look at it, they're all on decent energy. Maybe Storm just finished as he was moving out.
Yeah, lots of Zealots
coming back.
Against 6 hatcheries, even with about the 7 gateways that Pusan actually has, it's going to be very hard unless you get some very good engagements to actually break out of this. I'm actually surprised that JD hasn't actually gone into something like Lurkers, because it's going to be different, but it looks like a huge drop is actually going to go down into the main. Either that or it's been faked. It doesn't look like anything in those overlords, which is...
Oh, it's totally a fake. Totally a fake. He's trying to draw the whole army in. The probes got scared, the army got scared, and he's using this to buy time, I feel, because the Lurkers are on their way. They're morphing under the main base right now. So he did that to fake and buy time for his Lurker contain. Very smart move from JD here.
Ah, yeah, there we go. I couldn't actually find the Lurkers on the map, which was crazy. But we do see, as I suggested, the Lurkers do finally come up. That's going to cement his position on the map even stronger. It's going to be very hard to get out of this. There's no actual robo up yet, I don't think, especially not an observatory, so he's going to have trouble working out this. He's going to have to use Storm to sort of guess where the lurkers actually are, so that's quite a dangerous position to be in.
And Observatory just coming up now, so it's going to be a while until he can make any aggressive moves. Meanwhile, we are seeing the Queen's Nest finishing up for the Zerg player. He's looking probably to get Defilers and start really putting a choke on this Protoss, preventing him from expanding further.
Yeah, so the Hive has just started as well, so very good position to sort of move forward into the game. He does find himself a little bit supply blocked, but at the moment he's in a commanding position. I'm surprised Jaedong hasn't actually just tried to take a load more bases actually. To just take the bottom half of the map at the moment. Not really too much that Pusan can do about it.
One thing that I could say is the Overlord saw the sheer amount of gateways. He probably thinks that he needs to completely solidify his position first before he can expand further. Because one bad engagement here would go poorly for the... If one bad engagement goes for the Zerg, then he's lost entirely all position on the map because he has no static defense.
Yeah, it does look like there's been a push out here, which has been quite successful. He's killed most of the lurkers, but a lot of zealots have gone down. But there is still a little contingent of... well, as I say that, the Dragoons actually get annihilated by a lurker shot there, losing 2 of them in one go. And some Lings actually do run past. They could actually snipe this High Templar if Pusan's not careful. But it looks like, luckily enough for him, Jaedong wasn't actually paying too much attention, just sent the Zerglings in. That one lurker finally goes down, so there is quite a decent army out now for Pusan to sort of push across the map with. Looks like there's even more lurkers down, so Pusan's actually still in a decent position, but it's going to be hard to actually push across the map against the wave of Lings and lurkers and Hydras that are just coming out of the Zerg right now.
Yeah, and the Zerg just started the Adrenal Gland upgrade. It's going to be very tough for the Protoss to fight against that. Even if there is a 1 upgrade lead right now. And just the sheer amount of units that the Zerg is pumping out right now, Pusan can't seem to keep up with it. He's rallying his Dragoons, but Dragoons and Zealots are not going to win against Lurkers and Lings without the support of High Templar. High Templar, unfortunately, very slow to walk, take a long time to build and build up energy for Storm, so he had to kind of take a back foot for a moment. He's thinking about taking a 3rd base here, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to secure this because there is quite a lot of Zerg all over the place. It looks like JD actually took that bottom right base, so JD using the good old mineral trick to get through with the Zergling to actually take that bottom right base. It's going to give him 2 bases up on the Protoss, which, while it isn't exactly an unwinnable position for Pusan, it does solidify JD's position in this game. And he actually needs to be quite careful with his observers as well. Luckily for him, it looks like JD doesn't seem too interested in building too many Hydras anymore, just focusing purely on Ling Lurker. And we do see that Defiler mound up as well. Yeah, it looks like unfortunately for Pusan, both his armies actually got split up there, so he was in a very odd position, and it actually leaves him unable to defend. He loses all of his units, and he's forced to GG. Not going to be able to take that 2nd base there. Very unfortunate loss for him.
The Adrenal Gland definitely turned the tide there. As soon as it finished, the Link started chopping things off a lot quicker. The Dragoon and Zealot heavy army is a lot weaker against that. There were no Archons out, there were no Templar. I think Pusan was just desperately trying to pump out enough army to hold on to the 3rd base, and as such, he didn't go for the more time and investment that would be required to make Archons and High Templar.